Hi everyone, Donna here with Bookkeeping Made Simple. Today, since we're coming into the end of the year, I want to talk about 1099s, what they are, who receives them, and when their due dates are, a few other little things. Okay, so let's kind of start with who receives a 1099. It's easier to say who does not. We mostly focus on contractors who receive non-employee compensation. This can also, by the way, be employees who receive non-employee compensation. There's some critical differences between the 1099 and the W-2 that a lot of people get confused. So we're going to talk about that too. So we're going to start with who receives one, and that is non-employees who you pay for services. Typically, it's not for goods. There is a paper trail for that, but this is for services, and they have they are not incorporated. This is important. I have a real estate broker that I've worked with for quite a bit. I absolutely love them. They're some of my favorite clients. They also have an agent. They have a ton of agents, and most of them have set up LLCs with themselves as the sole owner. So they do receive a 1099. A couple have set themselves up as S-corps, single owner S-corps, which is totally legal. You can certainly do that. And they have also been asking for 1099s, and corporations do not receive them. The reason corporations don't receive them is that there are so many regulations involving corporations. You have to have a board meeting. You have to have a board. Even if you are the board, you have to have a board meeting once a year. You have to file you have to keep minutes. You have to file certain tax forms. So it is, as part of that, you also have to keep careful bookkeeping records. Excuse me. And so it is kind of assumed that if you've gone to the trouble of creating a corporation, you are willing to follow all those regulations. You are also keeping track of your income. So corporations do not receive one, whether the corporation you're looking at is Chevron, or if it's Sue Smith down the street who decided that she just wanted to be an S-corp because her business is growing. Doesn't matter. Corporations do not receive 1099s. So kind of going on with that. And yes, I mess with my hair all the time. This is just perfectly normal for me. What is a 1099? Well, the short answer, it is one of these forms. Okay. 1099s must be printed on specific forms. Let's start with that. I'm not going to go into too much about how to run them or anything like that. We do that for you if you're one of our clients. Your accountant or bookkeeper should be doing that for you. Often they will charge you extra for doing that because it is more work. It's more work all year long. So let's kind of talk about that from the beginning. Individuals, LLCs, partnerships, and sole proprietors all receive a 1099 if they're providing services. You provide a 1099 to be kind of the top person. So let's say you're a construction company and you have subcontractors that work for you that are not incorporated. They're LLCs, or maybe one or two members. That LLC or subcontractor receives a 1099. It is then that subcontractor's responsibility to provide 1099s to their laborers. So it kind of flows down. The purpose of the 1099, this is an informational return for the IRS. The reasoning behind it is that when you are a contractor, you don't get a paycheck. You're not on a W-2. You get paid, but it's not, you don't have any taxes withheld. You don't have, excuse me, you just don't deal with that. So the IRS needs to know who you paid and how much. Typically, as of today, the threshold for 1099s, who receives a 1099? Well, if they've been paid $599 or less, they do not need one. If they receive $600 or more, then yes, they receive one. We do all the work of, creating them, mapping the payments to the right box on the 1099. That's something that your bookkeeper or accountant will do. If you are our client, we will do it for you. Excuse me. I have really nasty acid reflux. It's been a problem for years. This week it's really bad. So my apologies. We will do that for you. But the thing is, one, it can't be, W-2s can be printed on plain paper. If you need a W-2, you can go in, you can ask your payroll company, they can just print it on any old paper. It doesn't matter. You can have 2 W-2s on a paper, you can have 3. They're submitted electronically. It's not something we need to worry about. 1099s may be submitted electronically, depending on the number that you need to do. If you just have a few, it's not worth the fee, basically. They are available only the first couple of weeks in January in stores. After that, it becomes very difficult to get the forms. So now's the time, if you need 1099s, to start working with your bookkeeper and letting them know that, yeah, this is something that you're going to need. If we haven't reached out to you already. Also, they have to be printed on very specific forms. So once we print them, now we don't retain these. We don't retain a copy of what we printed, and we don't retain extra forms. The forms go in the garbage after, usually by April, but the forms go in the garbage pretty quickly. I usually do toss them by March, by the beginning of March. They are due to the IRS the last day of January. They are due to your contractors the last day of January. If you are a contractor who is an S Corp and you have not received one, that's because you don't get one. Okay. We are not required to report your income to the IRS. If for some reason you have lost your 1099, the best way to deal with that is to basically call your bookkeeper and say, what did I make last year? That's all you need to know. You don't have to file these with your tax return. Your tax preparer does not need them. They are very much kind of a verification of how much you've made. You do not need to do anything with them. You do not have to retain a copy. You just have to make sure that all of the income on all of the the 1099s that you've received is included on your tax return. The IRS says you have to declare every dollar you've earned. And that's all I can say about that. Again, we don't retain the forms. We don't retain much of anything. We just retain the information. So if we have someone call and say, oh, I need a replacement 1099, we can't replace them. What we can do is tell you, oh, well, you made $10,000, $10,716 last year. Make sure you include that on your Schedule C or on your tax reporting. That's really all you need for tax purposes. And I think that's it. It's really a very simple process. Your bookkeeper or accountant should go through all of your vendors and identify which ones appear to need 1099s. Then we have to have your contractor's current address and their tax ID number. We don't care if it's an ITIN, a social security number, or a federal employer ID. It doesn't matter. We just have to have a number. Who do we send the form to? Basically, it's all we need. And again, it's just so that the IRS can look at your tax return, look at your 1099s, and go, oh, okay, they match. It's fine. If you have a good bookkeeping system, you may not even care about receiving 1099s at all. You really can't do business without bookkeeping. I'm going to do a video on that probably next week. And that's all there is to it. It's a pretty simple process. Excuse me. Just on my elm. And I apologize for not getting videos out. I have horrible ADHD, evidently. Everything that I do, I've had brain fog like for days. So that's it. That's what you need to know about 1099s. Again, we do not retain them. Once these go out to all of our clients in January, we don't keep extras. I just happened to have found an extra form. We file these forms at the IRS, or excuse me, this red copy has to be filed to the IRS, and a summary form 1096 has to be filed with the IRS. And once that's done, we do not retain forms. It is because they have to be printed on a special paper. They're only available in January. By February, they're gone. So we don't go back. We don't do 1099s for previous tax years. And we are careful about how we handle them. But again, the opportunity to file 1099s vanishes in February. So please, if you have questions about 1099 forms and the end of the year process, please give us a call at 801-692-0032. We will have people standing by. We're excited to work with you. This is a real business, by the way. This is not me sitting at my kitchen table. This is, I have a staff that's growing every other month, it seems. And we are, excitedly bringing on new people. So we're not going anywhere. So if you have a bookkeeper that vanishes, let us know. And we will be able to help you. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we are looking forward to talking to you again soon.